stand up and say, "Hi, my name is Jim. My wife left me, my kids hate me, I don't have my job, I've lost everything." And everyone looking at me is going to say, "Oh, hi, Jim," because they've all had the same experience. And sharing that experience is grounds for some healing to begin to happen. But here's the last experience of healing. And for me, I'm a Christian, I'm a pastor, so I connect this specifically with the Christian God. But it works if you're Jewish, it works if you're Muslim, it works if you're not anything. We're talking about some spirit of love that is in this world. And I'm just going to tell you what happened to me. About 15 years after I was in Vietnam, I went to Africa with a bunch of clergy. And on the first night, we were in the city of Nairobi, which is the capital of Kenya. And we went for a walk that evening in a park. It's called Uhuru Park. That's Swahili for freedom, Freedom Park. No one told us that you're not supposed to be there at night. Kind of like Central Park in New York City. Don't go there at night. So as we were walking, some men jumped out of the bushes and they knocked us over and they stole cameras and purses. And nobody really got hurt too much. But it was really a bad experience. And after those men ran off, we got up and we went back to where we were spending the night. The next morning, I was walking on a sidewalk in downtown Nairobi when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this fear rose up inside of me. And it was so strong that someone had to take me by the arm into a building and sit me down with my back to the wall and just sit with me for a couple of hours. And I slowly realized that what I was feeling was the fear that I had felt in Vietnam. And it was amazing to me to realize that I'd been carrying it right here for 15 years and didn't know it. That it had just been sitting here. And that the attack the night before had triggered it to come back with all of the force as if Vietnam had happened yesterday. Well, that afternoon, we were going out into the country to visit a church. And I got into a Land Rover and sat in the middle of the back seat, and I made sure I had two big guys on each side of me, because I couldn't even look out the window. It felt like all of Africa was kind of evil and crushing in on me. And just like that little baby on the beach, there was nowhere that I could escape or hide. We got to the church, and the church looked like a garage made out of concrete blocks. It was nothing. But out of it came the women's group of the church. And there were about 20 women, and they were singing, and they were dancing, and they were smiling, and they had beautiful dresses on. And we got out of our cars, and they started walking towards us. And I was standing there, frozen in this fear, as these women got closer. And as they approached, each one of them started to walk toward one of us. And one woman in particular started walking towards me. And as she got closer, I saw that this was a really big woman. I'll bet she was at least 6'4", maybe 6'6". And she was not slender. This was a very big woman. And as she got closer to me, she opened up her arms. And she had a beautiful dress on. And she was smiling. And she was dancing and swaying. And I was standing there frozen. And she got closer and closer. And she totally invaded my personal space. And just like that drill instructor, she got right up to me. And she put her arms around me. And she embraced me. And I kind of physically disappeared out of sight into this woman as she held me. You know how I didn't have words that could adequately describe the experience of being blown up? I don't have any words that can adequately describe what happened to me as that woman was embracing me. All I can tell you is that as she held me, I felt the fear that was making me frozen just fall away from my spirit. Kind of like leaves fall off the trees here in New England in the fall. And to be replaced by a kind of peace that I hadn't known was possible. And this wasn't anything I'd asked for or expected or had earned. It just came to me like a meteor would invade our surface from outer space. I later learned that she was one of 3 wives to one man, that she spoke no English, only Swahili, that she had had 16 children, that she and I have absolutely nothing in common on this earth. But I count her as one of the greatest gifts I think I have ever received. So, my hope is that for the soldiers and Marines you and I know who are coming back from serving our country, that there may be some experience of healing that might include arms like that. And that you and I perhaps might be able to be those kind of arms. Not saying any words, but just being those arms. And that if any of you are sitting here right now with any sort of heavy-duty experience as well, that there might be some arms like that for you as well. So I hope that next week on your trip and when you're at the wall, that it is a profound experience of healing for all of you and gratitude for all of you as well. Thank you very much.
Have any questions they would like to ask Mr. Munroe? Jim? Okay, well, thank you very much. I'm sure, thank you, Jim. We will take your stories with us when we go to the wall, and we will give our regards to people you knew. And we want to thank him very much for his presentation.
Hey folks, thank you for being an outstanding audience. Let's give one more word to this With that said, it's time to return to the truth. Okay, so hold it. We can start in the back.